Does your retirement account for the 5 lives of retirement? Every single plan needs to cover these. So what are the 5 lives of retirement? We see people come in all the time and they have retirement accounts, but retirement accounts are not necessarily a retirement plan. Retirement planning needs to take into consideration a long life, a short life, a rough life, a sick life, and into the next life. That is what we have to plan for in retirement. And if a plan does not have all 5 of those components, it's not really a plan, it's just investments. I hear this a lot of times, and since I used to consult financial advisors all over the country, I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, my guy, he's basically just an investment guy, but he doesn't deal with, XYZ. And so that's not really what we want to deal with. We want to do planning in all the different areas. And so let me go through each one of these and kind of unpack what these mean. What does a long life mean? A long life means, well, shoot, what if you live to be 95 or 100 years old? Is your money going to last your entire life? So that's long life. And that could be one of you, that could be both of you. What if you both live to be, very, very mature in age, very, very wise in years? Is your money going to last your entire life? So it has to account for that. The second one, short life. Well, what's that? Well, what if, and this is going to be more geared towards people that are married or have a significant other. What would happen if one of you passed away suddenly and soon? What is going to happen to the surviving spouse? That would be short life. That has to have a plan in place for that. Rough life. What the heck is rough life? Wouldn't that be kind of the same as short life? Not necessarily. Rough life would be what happens when the big emergencies happen, all right? Can you get access to your money? And honestly, this is probably the one piece that we see most people already have when they come in, is could they get access to their money? Well, since we deal with mainly people that are in retirement or very close to it, the answer is yes. I mean, if they've got money in their IRAs or their Roths, or they're retired or they're over 59 and a half, they've got money outside of their 401k. Maybe it's still in their 401k, they haven't moved it out yet, but they can still get access to it without any penalties. They'll have to pay the tax on it, but they can get access to their money without having to pay a penalty. Once you have enough liquidity, first you have to define how much is enough liquidity. Then you can find out, do you have access to a sufficient amount should those non-medical emergencies arise? Like the roof blows off your house, you got to replace a water heater and you need a new car, and that all kind of happens right around the same time. Can you get access to your money? And the answer for most people is going to be yes on that one. But the rest of them we find are not as well taken care of. So long life, short life, rough life, sick life. Nobody likes to talk about long-term care. This is probably one of the most non-planned for areas of retirement that I see when people come into us, is they either don't have any long-term care plans, no plans to pay for it, other than, I guess, they're just going to pay for it out of pocket. There's a few that do have some long-term care insurance, but by and large, they don't. There's nothing there. And I'm not a big fan of long-term care insurance, but I am a big fan of planning for long-term care expenses, because we do know that according to some Genworth studies, that about 7 out of 10 people, once you hit age 65, will have some type of a long-term care incident in their lifetime. And now the average cost is somewhere around $90,000 a year for a semi-private room. So I mean, that's real money. That can eat through a nest egg pretty quickly. So there has to be things in place to take care of a sick life. So long life, short life, rough life, sick life. Now into the next life. Into the next life would be, what happens when you're gone? How does that money get passed on to your kids, and can it get passed on in the most tax efficient way planning? So that would be kind of be a subheading of all of these, is tax efficiency running through the vein of all these 5 lives of retirement. And because tax planning is a big part of what we do too. And so we want to make sure that that money is going to go on in the best way possible. Check out some of my podcast episodes on Retirement Rescue Radio, where I talk about what the Secure Act did for the Stretch IRA, to find out what can be done before we actually pass away, to make sure that our kids don't inherit a huge tax bill as well. So long life, short life, rough life, sick life, and into the next life. And if you don't know how your plan takes care of all of those, it might be time to sit down and figure that out. If you want to sit down with us, we would be more than happy to help you out. We do this all the time. And so, once again, the 5 lives of retirement. You shouldn't go into retirement without knowing that you have a plan that addresses all 5 lives. Thanks for watching. Take care.